Hi everyone. In today's session, we shall try to cover the next topic of Unix programming. So far, we have covered two main topics with respect to Unix programming. In the first session, I covered topic on Unix environment, or also it can be called as Unix architecture. So with respect to that particular topic, I covered the three main components of Unix operating system, which is the user, how he is going to communicate the commands with respect to the shell. Your shell can also be called as command interpreter. Your shell will receive commands from the user. Once it receives the command, it will check whether the commands are present in its list or not. If the command is present, then it calls the kernel, which is the operating system, the core part of the operating system, with the help of system calls. Then the command will get executed by using hardware resources. So once the command get executed, the results will be sent back to the shell or command interpreter. Then it will be finally conveyed to the user. I showed this explanation with the help of a complete block diagram and also with a rough sketch in Paint. I showed how actually this happens. This was actually explained in the first session. In the next session, I explained the main 7 features of Unix operating system, which are the 7 main features of Unix operating system, how it provides multi-user capability, how it provides multitasking capability, then how it provides programming facility, and the next one is we covered how it provides different utilities. All these things we covered in the second session. So in this particular session, we shall cover some more concepts with respect to Unix operating system. The first topic for this session is POSIX and the single Unix specification. So I'm going to give the main intention behind this particular topic. The main motivation or the intention behind this particular topic is that mainly to provide portability. You people already know what do you mean by portability. What actually do you mean by portability? If you develop an application or if you develop a software in one system, then that software can easily be ported into another system. You need not rewrite that particular software again in the another system. You are porting it. That is what actually is called as portability. But when Dennis Ritchie decided to write Unix operating system in C language, it was not made portable. That means if I develop a software in a system which has Unix operating system, then that cannot be easily ported to another system which had Unix operating system. You again need to rewrite that particular software. You cannot just use the class file. So ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು program na compile ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ it will produce a class file. So that class file can be used in another operating system, in the same operating system of another system. Then it is called as portability. But that was not possible when Dennis Ritchie wrote the Unix operating system in C programming language. So to overcome this particular disadvantage, which is a major disadvantage because portability plays a major role, you should not rewrite your code or software again and again. Once the software has been written, it should be portable to any other system which has the same operating system. To achieve that, we came across a series of developments. Those series of developments were firstly AT&T laboratories. This particular laboratories develop a system called as V interface definition. Later, X Open. This was a group of vendors. This group of vendors and user created X bar open portability guide. This portability guide which was created had many specifications. The products of this particular specification were Unix 95, Unix 98 and Unix 03. All these developments were towards making your Unix operating system to become portable. Next, another group of standards mainly called as portable operating system for computing environment, popularly known as POSIX. So this were developed by IEEE people. IEEE, you can give the expanded form as IEEE as Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So these POSIX were further divided into two important standards, which is called as POSIX.1 and POSIX.2. The POSIX.1 mainly dealt with the system call. These two standards were integrated with your Unix operating system. The POSIX2 dealt with the shell or the command interpreter. So these two initiatives, which was one by X/Open vendors side, another from the IEEE side, this through joint initiative, the joint initiative from this through these two vendors resulted in one more standard, which is called a single Unix specification, which can also be abbreviated as SUS version 3. So this was the particular version where portability was actually achieved. So what actually do you mean by portability? Means if you write a software or develop a software in any POSIX compliant Unix operating system, then that software can easily be ported, or I can say it can easily be used into any other Unix operating system which is also POSIX compliant. So this is what we call as portability. So these were the series of development which took place in order to make your Unix operating system to become portable. So earlierly, Dennis Ritchie decided to write your Unix operating system in C programming language, but that didn't work out well because it wasn't portable. If you write a software in one particular operating system, it was not easily portable to another operating system. So to overcome that particular disadvantage, series of developments took place. So first AT&T Laboratories developed the System V interface definition. Then XBAR Open vendors developed the XBAR Open portability guide. It had many products such as Unix 95, 98 and Unix 03. Later IEEE people developed POSIX. It had two main standards. Then a joint initiative of X/Open and IEEE resulted in a major breakthrough. That standard development was called as single Unix specification. This was made completely portable. That means if you write or develop a software in any POSIX compliant Unix operating system, that can easily be ported or used in any Unix operating system which is also POSIX compliant. So these major developments were mainly to make your Unix operating system to become portable. So now we shall move on to the next topic of this particular presentation session, which is how you can locate commands. So as the name itself suggests, locating commands is nothing but where actually the command resides. Nim command ellide, adu jaga ellide, adu elli storage na occupy ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಮೊರಿನ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ we can say it as locating commands. So how we can locate commands, what actually is the procedure to locate commands ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ this particular topic will clearly explain. So your Unix is command-based system. That means everything which happens between the user and the system takes place with the help of commands. All the interactions which takes place between user and the system is with the help of commands. The user will give commands, your command interpreter will check whether the commands are present, then it will be sent to the kernel where commands will get executed. So that's why I can say your Unix is command-based system. That is, everything happens because the user enters the commands and that will be executed by the kernel with the help of command interpreter. All Unix commands you observe or see are single word commands, or I can say they will be in single words. That means cat, ls. Cat is a command which is used to display the command, display the content. Ls is a command which is used to retrieve which are all the files which are present in your directory. There are many such other commands which are just single words. So your date is a single word command. Your make directory, creating a directory is a single word command. Your remove directory is a single word command, change directory is a single word command, your grep is a single word command. So these are all the commands which are single word. Almost all of your Unix commands are single word. And also your command name should be in lowercase. You should not give commands in uppercase. Suppose if you give a command in uppercase, then you will get a response from the shell. That response is as command not found. Since you have given your command in uppercase, it indicates that your command is not found. Even though there is a command by name ls, since you have given the command in uppercase, so your shell throws a message called as command not found. So your all the Unix command you see in your Unix operating system are nothing but programs. That programs will be stored as files. So all Unix command that you see will be nothing but C programs. That C programs will be stored as files. All those files will be stored in separate directories, or I can say folders. So you might have seen in Windows operating system. Once you create a Word document, you will store that Word document inside a folder. Similarly, all the Unix commands which are there are nothing but C programs. Those C programs will be stored as file inside another folder, or I can say inside another directory. Suppose if you want to know the location of a particular command, which is nothing but a executable program, then you can make use of a command called as type command. So type is a command used in Unix operating system in order to retrieve the location of a particular command, in order to know the location of a particular executable C program, which is nothing but the command. ಸೊ ನಂಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ದು ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ as a command, that will give me the location of that particular command. So as you can see here, I have given type date. That means now I want to know where date command has been stored. Date command ಎಲ್ಲಿ reside ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ particular location retrieve ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ type ಅಂತ command ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಡೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ /bin/date ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲಾಶ್ ಏನಿದೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ. ಟಾಪ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಎ ನೇಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ. ಸೊ ರೂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಡೇಟ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೇಟ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ first it will go into this particular directory, then it will fetch that particular date program, then it will execute the command. So ee tara nimdu execution agutte. Adana illi helirodu, when you execute date command, the shell locates this file in the /bin directory, that is root directory ಒಳಗೆ bin directory li ee file na locate ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Then it will make the necessary arrangements in order to execute this particular command. So this is how actually the command execution takes place. So in order to locate your command, you need to use a command called as type command. Your type command will give me the exact location of date command. So whenever you execute date command, it goes into the root directory. From root directory, it will go into the bin directory. Then it will execute the date command. So far we covered two topics, that is the POSIX and single Unix specification, how series of developments took place in order to make your Unix operating system to become portable, how you were able to locate commands, so that we saw. Now we will move on to the next topic, which is nothing but the path. So what actually is path is, your path is nothing but it is a sequence of directory your shell or command interpreter will search to look for a command which is specified in its own path variable. That means whenever I want to execute a command, so the shell or the command interpreter will search for all the directories given in the path. So where if that particular command is present in any of the directories, then it will execute the command. If that particular command is not present in any of the directories of the path, then that command won't get executed. ಪಾತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as path. Path contains the list of directories the shell will search in order to execute a command. That is path definition. So as you can see, ನಾನು ಪಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕೋ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಎಕೋ $path ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಾಲರ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಫೆಚ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪಾತ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಫೆಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ $path ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಗ ಪಾತ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನೇನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಫೆಚ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ $path ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ದಿಸ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ these are all the directories your shell will search whenever it wants to execute a command. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ /bin. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ /user/bin ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ /user/localbin, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ /user/ccsbin, /user/local/java/bin. ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಲೇ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಡಾಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸರ್ಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೆದರ್ ದ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಡಾಟ್. So these are all the directories your shell or command interpreter will search whenever it wants to execute a command. ಈಗ ನಾನೇನೋ ls ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ls ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಿಮ್ ls ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ls ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಅವಾಗ ls ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಿಮ್ ls ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇವ್ ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿಲೂ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So the main intention of using path is it will list all the directories your shell will search in order to execute a command. So there are mainly 6 directories here. Each of the directory is separated by a colon. So / represents root directory. Agle helde. So when command is issued, command ಏನಾದ್ರು issue ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ the shell will search this list in the sequence specified. ಇದೇ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಡಾಟ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೇನೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಾನು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ನೆಟ್ಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಅಂತ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಲ್ ಏನೇ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತು, ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ the command you are executing here, which is Netscape, it is not present in any of the directory anta nimge information siktu. So Netscape might reside in different directory. Ee list alli ildene idru saha it might reside in different directory. In that case you need to change the value of path. nim path ke Netscape yav directory ide aa directory nu saha illi neevu include madkobekagutte. So this is how your path will work. Path will give me the list of directories your shell or command interpreter will search for whenever it wants to execute a command. Suppose when you execute a command, if that particular command is not found in any of the directory, then it will give me a message called as command not found. In such a case, you can include the directories in which Netscape is found into the path value. ಆ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ Netscape ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಇದೆ ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿನ ನೀವು path ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So these are all the things you need to remember with respect to path. So the last topic for this particular presentation session is internal and external command. What actually do you mean by an internal command? What actually do you mean by an external command? So when your shell wants to execute a command, if it's executing the command without looking into the directories. So it won't look for the directories to search for that particular command. A command reside agide, a command the program ellide, ಅದನ್ನ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೇನೆ ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ such a command is called as internal command. ಅಂತ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ನಾವು internal command ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Then you might ask a question, without the command program, how the shell can execute a command? This happens because your shell will be having a set of commands called as inbuilt commands. So whenever your shell executes a command from a set of inbuilt commands, then that particular command is called as internal command. So that is what has been explained here. When the shell executes a command from a set of its internal command, or I can say inbuilt command, then such a command is called as internal command. That means in that particular case, your shell won't search for the directories in order to locate a command. Without searching for any directories to locate a command, it will execute the command from its own set of inbuilt commands. Such a command is called as internal command. So the opposite of this one is nothing but external command. So what do you mean by external command? If your shell or command interpreter searches for the command in directories, it will locate the command in directories, then it will execute the command. Such a command is called as external command. So brief ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಏನಾರು ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್. ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೀಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ such a command is called as external command. So as you can see here, there are many examples. So echo command na nanu first adruddu type na ಕಂಡಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ, so echo command ದು type, that means ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it will give me an output called as echo is an internal command. So that means it is not found in any directories. It can directly be executed from the shell set of inbuilt commands. So the echo is an internal command. Echo is shell built in ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ls ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ls ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿದು ಪಾತ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ls is an external command. ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿದು ಪಾತ್ ಬರ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ls ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ ಎಕೋ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ಏನೋ ಪಾತ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಎಕೋ ಇಸ್ ಎ inbuilt command of your shell. Suppose you might ask a question, suppose if the command is found both as an internal command as well as an external command. So command shell ದು built in ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. In such a case, what actually happens andre, the precedence will be given to internal command execution. It won't be to external command execution. That means if your command has been stored both as in directories as well as in shell built-in, then that particular command will be executed as a shell built-in command, or I can say it can be executed as an internal command. So that is what has been stated here. The command exists both as an internal and external one. Shell will execute that as an internal command. Internal commands will have top priority compared to external command of the same name. So suppose if your ls command is found both as an internal as well as an external command, then your ls command will get executed as an internal command, not as an external command. Because if you want to execute ls as an external command, it might take some extra amount of time because it needs to locate that particular command in the directories, then it needs to execute it. So if it can be directly executed as shell built-in, then the time consumed will be very much less. So that's why the priority will be more to internal command than to external command. So these were all the topics I was needed to cover in this particular session. So far in this particular session, we covered 4 main topics. The first one is POSIX and single unit specification, how series of developments took place in order to make your Unix operating system to become portable. how you can find the location of a particular command. So in order to find the location of a particular command, you need to use a command called as type. So which are all the directories your command interpreter or shell will search in order to execute a command. To list the directories, we used a command called as path command. So we use $path in order to obtain the value of path command. Then we saw what actually do you mean by internal and external command. So watch all your presentation sessions. So far I have covered 5 important presentation sessions. The first 2 presentation sessions were with respect to the general basic concepts and syllabus introduction. In the third session, we covered Unix architecture, or I can say Unix environment. In the fourth session, I covered Unix features. So in this particular session, I covered some more topics with respect to Unix commands. So in next presentation session, we shall look into the remaining topics which are the continuity of this particular presentation session. So watch all your presentation session. Still, if you are getting any doubts with respect to any presentation session, you can call or ping me with respect to your doubts. Thank you.